Всем здравствуйте.
Hello, everyone.
Я один из кураторов скрытого сада. Мы курируем его втроем.
I am Kristina Serchikova and one of the curators of the Hidden Gardens, and we are leading this project all together. Me, Anastasia Nazatskaya, and Ksenia Kasko.
Мы вообще занимаемся этим проектом уже целый год.
We are involved in this project for a year.
Выставку в новом формате.
It is a kind of celebration for us. Hello, my name is Yana Vasilyeva. I'm the artist from Krasnodar, as Christina have told. I work with the installation and sculptures, and I'm going to show you my installation. I will try to come closer, but I'm afraid that there will be the connection problem.
Да, вот лучше так показывать.
Вот так хорошо?
Is it good right now? I'm now in the place that is special for me and my family. I want to invite you to get you and me. We are in 50 kilometers from Krasnodar. This river just became bigger just in 1 week. Before it was just a place without water. And now the installation is practically all under the water. This is the foot of the mountain Sabarbash, and we for many years were going there with our family for many years. But then we found out that in our favorite place, before this territory was not underwater and it was just another place. We were going there for many years. And one of the places in the river was just digged by the grader, and now it's just behind of a pool that is totally stagnant and underwater. So now it's just stagnant water here. Since 2018, we started visiting this place more rarely. And now near this place, we have just a new eco village with a big fence that going is deeply into the forest.
Каких-то поселений и отрезанных спусков к реке, что в лесу стали появляться просто обилие мусора именно строительного, то есть понятно.
And we understood that near the river a lot of garbage just appeared deeply into the forest. It was just the composition garbage.
Можно было наблюдать острова и наблюдать до сих пор острова из, например, только пластмассовых бутылок.
And on the landscape, we can see totally little aisles of plastic bottles.
Если вы обратили внимание или смогли увидеть, и я не совсем была пикселем в тот момент, то тот лес, который был позади меня, именно там набирался сил и рос паразитикус. Это первая часть инсталляции.
And you know that on the background there is a forest where was parasiticus. It's a kind of installation. with pig and rebars and wire and agrofiber. And it is attacked like the nature.
Сформировавшийся уже вид паразитикуса,
And
выросший
now we see the formed shape of the Paradiseticus. It is a kind of a gate.
документацию. а,
You can see it closer.
Таких природных текстур, а
All this construction is made of natural textures. And these are the remnants of rebar and wire and agrofiber.
текстуры, да, которые абсолютно природные, да, то есть вместо пик такое подобие железа, которое мимикрирует под
These textures are 100% natural, and you see that the pixels, they mime a kind of a natural thing.
акция
It's not a manifesto for me. It's an action of finding a symbiosis in the state where we are and with the conditions and with the area where we enter, where we live and with which we interact. And on the first place, there is a respect for this place that have a lot of memories and gave us a great experience.
есть
The new eco village has a lot of electrical circuit.
меня ну прям просрелило, скажем так.
When I saw these electrical constructions for the first time, I was astonished so much.
Счастья и тем очень личным и индивидуальным для каждого вещам, которые ты только со временем и с возрастом, наверное, понимаешь и осознаешь, что именно тогда, в том моменте, который ты не понимал, но именно тогда, в моем случае, среди моих близких, среди на реке Убинки, среди природы, я испытывала то самое счастье. И в
And
конце
you know,
концов,
I could feel the happiness on this river and in this place. And I would like to ask you to close your eyes for just a second and try to find your own place where you could feel the happiness.
я очень надеюсь, что хотя бы на несколько секунд вы испытали какое-то тепло или, по крайней мере,
I hope for that for several seconds you felt just a kind of an inner warmth and you will recollect this place with a happy feeling. Thank you for your attention. Now is Marie speaking.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Well, I hope everyone can hear me well. So my name is Marie Muller-Tricler. I'm French, and so I'm connecting here from a forest in France, which is pretty rainy today, but it's a kind of the game, right? So the project that I'm gonna present to you today, it's called La Vitalité Hybride, which means probably the hybrid vitality in English. And it started from an experience I had after a huge trouble from the stop of the daily intake of contraception, so hormonal contraception, and I cured the disease that I got from this daily intake during almost 10 years only with plants and physiotherapy. and I had to use more than 7 plants per day to cure. And this experience pushed me to start to create a kind of and plants. And then I started to create my own paper based by plants only and seeded by myself. So you can see here that the paper is growing from the picture. And the project currently is that I'm leaving those paper into their natural environment. So sometimes the picture are just destroyed, as you can see here, by the natural environment and the weather elements. And sometimes the paper grow itself, which is creating a kind of very interesting ecosystem, because if I want, I can use the plants growing from my picture and doing paper again. So the cycle is never ending. And I have sometimes the feeling that I'm
So
living by the
the
energy
next
that
artist is
came
absent
from the
right now,
nature,
unfortunately. So we're going to
by
see her
giving
artwork
back
without her. She's from
my super
Argentina.
plants. So let's say that it's just a story of elements. And yes, because it's rainy today, you can see the drop of the water on the picture. So here it's one destroyed because it's here since a while now. And you can see that it's eaten by snails and insects. Obviously, because the paper is biodegradable. So it's eaten by a lot of different insects and animals. So sometimes it's parts of my body printed on this paper, and sometimes it's nature in itself. And I like to imagine that my body and nature are melted together. And outside the exhibition, I'm leaving those paper in the forest, and as a performance, I'm coming again and again to see the development of the picture or the degradation of the paper. And all the color variation that you can see is obviously depending on the plants that I'm using. to do the paper.
Now Felix can speak.
And maybe I can also talk to you a bit about the environment here. So we are on a private wood in France because we have still a lot of private wood, which is of course good for me because if I would leave my pieces on a public wood, and because we are in France, they will be destroyed within 2 hours by the people just making promenade in France. And I'm only interested by the degradation made from nature and animals and not by human, right? So as a final pieces, you can see here the plants growing from the paper. And as you can see, you cannot really see the picture anymore because it's completely destroyed by the plants. And I'm making this project as a kind of metamorphosis or analogy of the body just deteriorate by time and regenerate in something better or in something alive. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoy the trip, and I'm gonna pass the hand to Danny.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Danny Lamort. I'm an artist in Tucson, Arizona, which is in the southwest of the United States of America. For Hidden Garden Games 3, I made a piece called Palo Verde, which is a kind of game performance. And this morning, I'm going to perform a short version of that for you for a couple minutes, and then I'll talk about it for a couple minutes after that. So I'm gonna get started.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? We hear you well, but we don't see you. Now we can see and hear you. Is this okay? Hello. I'm glad that we are connected here. I'm going to tell you about my idea and about myself. I am Evgeny Melnikov, and I am involved into experimental sculpture. And I am playing with the hidden gardens. And I have created a little costume. I worked out the external of just the external ways of filling. The metallic shapes are made of blown metal, and they work with the sound in a peculiar, interesting way. I will show вам several variants of using these two. When you hear the sounds from the sculpture, your attention switches to the audio channel, and your attention works in a different way. So I'm starting. Thank you. So, did you hear anything?
Garden game performance.
Yes, we could hear.
Starting out thinking of using these.
So everything is all right.
Straw, but are actually the fallen leaves of the Palo Verde
So we
tree,
got
which
it.
is the tree behind me, to make lines and designs highlighting some of the weeds in my yard that are maybe ignored most of the time by gardeners.
Thank you,
But as I
Evgeny.
started making it, I was also
Now
thinking about
further,
how
and
often
thank
plants
you
are
for your
thought of as
attention.
only having a purpose if we give them a purpose. And sometimes in philosophy, plants have been treated as a little bit meaningless. And rather than making plants seem meaningful or important, I really wanted to think about the meaninglessness of plants as a model for thinking about how we might better waste time.
Hello,
especially
everyone.
under
Can you
COVID
hear me?
Discussions of how capitalism tries to make every minute productive.
So
or
I'm
useful.
going to
I
switch
really
the
wanted to
camera
draw inspiration from plants in the way that
to the
we might
landscape.
think of them as a model of being useless or
Now
worth,
I'm in Russia,
or
in the
undertaking
Chuvasia
activities that aren't
Republic,
productive or worthwhile.
near
And so
my
every day for
village.
7 days, I came into my yard. I
You
cleared
can
the
see the
space.
landscape a
I
little bit.
designed something with the leaves in that space until I was overwhelmed with the desire to erase it. I brushed it off the ground, blended it back into the yard, and put the rocks back on top.
I'm in
Today,
the
with a
place
short
where you
amount of
can
time,
see
I
the
decided to
field.
do it in 1-minute intervals to kind of give a similar effect to the game following similar instructions.
Here is a kind of
So
a
with that,
gully.
I
You
want to
can
pass
see it here.
off to Ksenia, Anastasia, and Christina to talk about the next
It
artist.
is located in between 3 villages. So the next artist is absent right now, unfortunately. So we're going to see her
in between these two
artwork without
villages,
her. She's from
we have this
Argentina.
gully.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Soy Belén Roveda y voy a estar
The land
participando de
in
G
our
en Garden con
area
ficción natural.
is like that,
Ficción
that
natural
it
es un
can
video que hicimos
crumble and
con Belén
diverge
Leitner en el
quite often.
2020, previo a la cuarentena y a la
And
crisis del
every
COVID.
spring we
Y
can
es un video
see
que
new
habla de la
gullies.
conexión que tiene el ser humano
And
con
the
la
gully is becoming
naturaleza.
wider.
Las formas geométricas representan la artificialidad dentro de ese mundo.
And here we
También van a ver
also
que
can
aparecen
see little
algunas partes del cuerpo, ¿no? Con
waters
algunas
that go
acciones.
to the local rivers.
Y es una obra que hicimos
And I
en el Parque
decided to sew
Saavedra,
up the
la ciudad de La
ground.
Plata, donde vivimos, tiene
So I
varios
took
parques.
just the rope
Y este lugar nos parecía especial e interesante para trabajarlo.
and place in little things
Esta temática es algo que
in
vengo
different parts of the gully.
trabajando
I decided to sew up
intentando
these,
también producir
these
desde otros
parts of the
procedimientos,
gully with the
desde la
rope.
pintura, el collage, la instalación o propuestas
I decided
interdisciplinares.
to add a little bit
Y
collectivity to the
me
story.
interesa, ¿no? como esta crítica, esta conexión que tiene el ser humano, las formas
So
blandas, las
I
formas
made
orgánicas de la naturaleza
little
con las
pieces
figuras
of
geométricas.
paper where and I placed
Y bien,
them
para contarles
in
un
the
poco de mí, soy
villages where
profesora
people could see
de
them.
escenografía y de pintura, egresada de la Universidad Nacional de La
And now
Plata
let's
y
walk
maestranda en artes del
near
espectáculo
this
vivo,
gully.
egresada de la Universidad de Sevilla. Hace un tiempo que vengo
Look at these
exponiendo en diferentes
landscapes.
lugares, en mi país y afuera, y en diferentes propuestas, ya sean festivales,
And you can
exhibiciones,
also say what you think
propuestas
about
también
it,
de
and
teatro.
also asked to do
Así
the
que
same.
estamos muy
The
contentos de
inhabitants
participar en
of
esta
these three
oportunidad
villages, they
con
could
ficción natural.
see and watch
Muchas
and
gracias.
say what they think. The residents of the village could write me on email or tell me personally what they think about this work. So I didn't get any feedback. So I decided to interact with this work in another way. So a half of this artwork is being just relocated, and now it is being disassembled. I gave it another function. And perhaps I will use it in another way. I hope this artwork lives its own life. So when something disappears and something appears, so it's for good. So that's all. Thank you, Fedor. So now Anastasia is speaking. She's one of the curators. Thank you, Fedor. Thank you all for your stories. I would like to tell several words about this exhibition. It is an experimental exhibition. Initially, we made it as an exhibition without a place and without time. We gave the freedom of choice to the artists, and we decided not to interrupt anyway their artists' activities. And we gave them as much time as they need. I think that artists shouldn't be framed, but it's quite often happen. And we stepped out of the rules that are in our area. It was not an easy task for us. We needed to trust other people fully. But trust is a good part in curators and
It was not very habitual for us to make an exhibition that was not about the common topic. We had not the common topic, but the common God. And the plan was interactive workshop with the space for the creation of this project that was not closed. The source of the space was random. It was interesting experience because of interesting thanks for all. We visit class without the participants practice all the guys too. So thanks for all. Thank you, Anastasia.
Я передаю слово Феликсу.
Now it's time for
Now,
questions and
Felix,
comments.
can
You may
speak.
write your questions.
Hello, everyone.
In
My name
English.
is Felix.
You can
I'm
write your
from Germany,
comments and ask the
and
questions.
I will give a screen performance today that I am turning into a short film. But today I'm gonna perform it live for the first time, so I hope it goes according to plan. Just a second. So. Can you see and hear everything? Yes? Okay. 2 years ago, my family had to sell our farm.
This is
It
the
was
place of happiness
in
where I
our
am.
family
Thank you for
possession
question.
for nearly 300 years. Last year, I found myself on Google Maps again. I do that quite often. And I found myself tracing the outlines of the sold farm on the online map. It was like I was caressing the buildings, like I was petting a Tamagotchi, a virtual being that I had to keep alive through constant attention. A while ago, the satellite image changed. It showed the new gardens, the new owner's garden. It's an elaborate construction with axes and everything. The people that moved in after us are very nice. They always invite me when I'm in the area, but I never went. Oh, I guess I'm sharing that too, sorry.
We could hear the sound of the metal shapes again while
The border between the 2D map and the 3D map runs straight in front of the farm. Beyond our hill, everything is flat. I downloaded the 3D model of the farm so that I could walk around in it. I know the secrets of this place. I know things the new owners don't know.
Strong and impressive.
I know where Minnie is buried, the three-legged cat with 3 teeth and 1 ear. I buried her here. In the 3D model, the ground is flat. In real life, there's a little indentation where I buried her, where the soil gave way when her body was decomposing. Now, underneath, everything is hollow. I know where Johanna is buried, our chicken. She died of old age. She laid a brown egg every day, even the day she died. She's buried right here. Back behind the barn, right there in the shadows, beneath the apple trees and in between the tree branches and the stinging nettles, is the little hut we built as children. It's gone now too. So I find myself roaming this digital model every once in a while, trying to make it my own place. But it's hard to make it home. So instead, I kind of destroyed it. Yeah, that was my first try of the
Good evening. Thank you for
screen performance. I'll give the word
Is it important
to
for artists
Vilgeni.
the photo and video fixation of this project? Are they going to work on these projects in further and develop them?
Привет, как слышно?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Слышно хорошо, но не видно.
We hear you well, but we don't
Теперь
see
видно
you.
и слышно.
Now we can see and hear you.
Все окей?
Да,
Is
всё
this
отлично.
okay?
Здравствуйте тогда.
Hello.
Я рад, что мы на связи.
I'm glad that we are connected here.
Соединение установлено. В двух словах расскажу о том,
I'm going to
какая у нас
tell
идея
you
и о
about
себе.
my
Меня зовут
idea and
Евгений
about
Мельников. Я
myself.
занимаюсь экспериментальной скульптурой в студии Филиал.
I am Vilgeni
И
Melnikov and
для
I am involved
эксперимента
into
с
experimental sculpture
игрой с садами я придумал такой
and
удивительный
I
для
am
нее
playing with the hidden gardens
такой костюм.
and I have created a little costume.
В разработке так называемых внешних органов чувств.
I worked out the external just the external ways of feeling.
Металлические формы, они надуты из металла, и они очень интересно резонируют звук.
The metallic shapes are made of blown metal and they work with the sound in a peculiar, interesting way.
Возможных использований данного приспособления.
I will show one several variants of using this tool.
Оно слышно, и это заставляет по-другому работать внимание оппонента.
When you hear the sounds from the sculpture, your attention switches to the audio channel and your attention works in a different way. So I'm starting. Thank you. I would like to comment on a little bit. Can you hear me, guys? As for my work, the first part was in 2018 and another part was created in May. It was important to document all this because I left my installation in the area for some time. If I did not make the documentation of this project, of the standard, if I did not let this project to live in the area, so it would not be like that. You can see what Christina was showing when I was just making the project. It was another sense, it was another perception. And documenting the work makes it possible to feel it, to sense it in another way. And while the water was going wider, it became another part of my job, of my work. It became another documentation, another shape. I did not tell you all. Thank you for trust. The hidden guards and curators making us so happy with your project. I hope that we will have more exhibitions like that.
Алло.
So,
Было слышно?
did you hear anything?
Да, было слышно.
Yes, we could hear.
Значит, все окей. Тогда,
So everything is all right.
в принципе, получилось.
So we got it.
Спасибо, Евгений.
Thank you,
Передаю
Evgeny.
слово Фёдору.
Now, Fyodor,
Спасибо за внимание.
thank you for your attention.
Фёдор, звук нужно включить.
Всем привет. Сейчас меня слышно?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Да, слышно.
Я тогда переключу на камеру.
So I'm going to switch the camera
Я
to
нахожусь
the landscape.
в России, это Республика Чувашия.
Now I'm in Russia, in the Chuvasia Republic,
Вблизи своей деревни. Вот,
near
можно
my village.
увидеть немножечко.
You can see the landscape a little bit.
Виднеется крыша домов, однокорная башня. Вот. И нахожусь я в таком вот месте, где такая вот равнина достаточно.
I'm in the place where you can see the field.
Вот. И здесь есть такой вот овраг.
Here is a kind of a gully. You can see it here.
тремя деревнями. Вот
It is located in between three villages.
Яныши и вот косы с этой стороны.
Can you hear me?
Между этими тремя деревнями
In between these three villages, we have this gully. The idea of the project is, it is quite long,
вот, и
is to fill the place. And I make some devices. The land in our area is like that it can crumble and diverge quite often. And every spring we can see new gullies.
The location it is the north
And
of
the gullies
Leningrad
become
Oblast,
wider.
Karelsky Prishek.
которые могут питать вот какие-то водоемы вдали, наверх внизу.
And here we also can see little
The structure of location
waters
makes it
that
possible
go to the
hear the
local
sound
rivers.
very clearly.
And I decided to sew up
It was
the
very
ground.
interesting when in between
So
the
I
seasons,
took just the
when
rope
the snow started to melt, the grass appeared,
Я начал их скреплять, связывать.
and
and
when I was
placing
touching the
little
ground,
things
it was very interesting because the
in
snow
different parts
sounded
of the
in a
gully.
little
I decided to
in a
sew
totally
up
different way.
these
And it's not
parts
only
of the
about the
gully
sound,
with the
it's
rope.
also about attention, because we used to
I
walk
decided to add a
and
little bit
being just
collectivity to the
only in our
story.
body, and we don't notice where we step. And if we put on these metal shoes,
So I made little pieces of paper
each
where,
touch
and I placed them
of
in the
any
villages where
object
people could see them.
is very different. You
And
can
now let's walk
touch the straws of
near
water
this
of the
gully.
ground. And
Look
each
at
your
these
touch will be
landscapes.
accompanied with the sound.
При желании высказать какое-то свое суждение, мнение.
And I can change the effect of
And
the
you
sound.
can
also say what you think about it. And also I
And
asked
it
to do
was
the
a
same.
very
The
simple
inhabitants
example
of
because
these
you
three
could
villages,
hear
they
it
could
in the
see and watch and say what they think.
No, it wasn't easy to reveal it through the phone connection.
I want to develop this topic. The residents of the village could write me on email or
develop
tell me personally what they think about
exposition
this work.
devoted to this topic, to this area.
So I didn't get any feedback.
And people also can interact
So I
between each
decided to
other
interact
if
with
they
this work in another
on
way.
these portable sculptures. It can be like a kind of improvisation, because even
half of
every
this
light touch of
artwork
each other,
is it makes you
being
just
to work your
relocated,
attention in a
and now
different
it
way.
is being disassembled.
And I have another worry.
I gave it another function.
And I would like to work out a peculiar space where we could step in. It's a kind of a big shoe that is
And
much
perhaps
bigger
I
than a
will use
human.
it in another way. I hope this artwork
And
lives
here
its
I
own
would
life.
like to work out a two-layered a
So
two-layered
when something
ground,
disappears and something appears, so it's for good.
and all the space is
So
filled
that's
with
all.
the sound. If you touch it with the hand or with your nail, the sound will be different.
Thank you,
I
Fedor.
try to develop this topic.
Анастасия.
So
It
now
seems very
Anastasia is
attractive and
speaking.
appealing
She's
to
one
me.
of the curators.
Thank you, Fedor. Thank you all.
If you have any questions,
your
I can
stories.
answer. I would like to tell several
you,
words
Evgeny.
about this exhibition.
It is an experimental exhibition.
There are no new questions,
Initially, we made it as
but I
an
have
exhibition
one
without a place
comment
and
to
without
another project.
we gave the freedom of choice to the artists,
And we decided not to interrupt anyway their artists' activities. And we gave them as much time as they need. I think that artists should not be framed, but it's quite often happens. And we stepped out of the rules that are in our area. was not an easy task for us. We needed to trust other people fully, but trust is a good part in between curators and artists. It was not very habitual for us to make an exhibition that was not connected by the common topic. We had not the common topic, but the common line. And this line was interaction of the artists with the space. So they were creating these projects for the definite places. The choice of the place was not just by random in any case. It was an interesting experience, and we hope it's an interesting experience for you too. Thanks for all. We did not trust the artists only, but the participants of the exhibition, so we're trusting all the guys too. So thanks for all. Thank you, Anastasia.
Теперь пришло время для вопросов и комментариев. Если
Now
у
it's
вас есть
time
какие-то
for
вопросы,
questions and comments. You may write your
вне
questions
зависимости от того, где вы смотрите.
in any place. You can write your comments and ask the questions.
Так. I think I'll do it in English for a lot of it, or in both languages, since
What did the
question
influence on? If you
were
could
in both.
ask.
Yeah, we've got a nice comment for presentation made by Yana from Zhenya Yurchenko, saying, это место счастья, там, где я. Спасибо за вопрос. I actually quite like this little meditative practice myself in the very end. Didn't close my eyes, but I did think of a place. Thanks a lot for that.
But just the object
and
that you put on.
Then, yeah, from Zhenya Yurchenko as well. Oh, yeah, in English now. It was related to a presentation by Marie.
You feel everything.
Don't know why, but this reminding of a designer who would dig the fabrics in ground or salt water,
if you
so that he can create a new texture. That's very nice. I think that's what Marie, a part of the Marie's project, is about.
You can read the space in another way when you wear this costume.
Yes, then we were a little bit nervous. Yeah, then Zhenya Yurchenko again says, hi, Rip Curl, привет, Rip Curl. I think that was for Vilgeny and his suit. And then she asked Vilgeny if there are any wild strawberries then, and said that there were bells that could have been heard. Было слышно бубенчики, Vilgeny, во время вашего перформанса. And then there was a comment from Martita Stearns.
It's a good
there was more sound from the movement of your body than interaction with nature. In a time when we are being shunted indoors and apart, these exhibits are about interactions in nature. Out of doors is where we played as children, and play is important. It's a nice comment. I actually think that indeed it's not only what I like about Vilgeny's work. It's not only about taking the sound of the form of the outside objects, but it's also indeed a sound of the moving body in a way.
We did not aim to
Екатерина Притеченская says, спасибо большое за выставку, очень сильно. Thank you very much for exhibition.
The condition
really
was
great.
that the artists interact with the space that is close to them.
a question to
So
Marie. I
that's
think
these
it's for you,
are
Marie.
all conditions open.
What were the
Maybe
photographs
would like
are
to
made of? I missed it.
we were
I don't know,
discussing
Marie, if
what
you want
was
to
very
respond to this
close to
question
us.
now.
And through agreeing in between each other what we really
Can
liked.
you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, sorry. So I couldn't really hear what you said because I just hear the Russian translator, but I turn on the translation now. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, it was a question about your photographs, what they are made of. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the paper. And basically the question is, what are they made of? Because the viewer missed that part, apparently.
Okay, so the paper itself is made only with plants. So I'm using a lot of different plants, like whatever. It can be fern, it can be algua, it can be onion skin. So it's really depending on the series that I'm shooting and also the season regarding the plants that I can take from outside depending on the season. And the pictures, they are analog pictures, and I'm developing those pictures with plant-based developers. So I'm not using any chemicals at all. I'm developing them with plant-based developer, and then I'm printing on the plant-based and seeded papers.
And
thanks.
Not just
thanks a lot, Marie. Just in case for the viewers, what I wanted to say, if you are not, if you missed anything, we will be putting out all documentation on our webpage and explanations as well, and where you can get more information. There is an interesting question from Oleg Key, which just came.
Last question.
A comment from Martita Stearns. There was more sound from the movement of your body than interaction with nature.
И был комментарий Евгения о том, что больше было звука от ваших движений, чем от взаимодействия с природой.
60 appeals, so we selected 6, 7. And the quantity is not so important. The quality is more important.
It's a nice comment. I actually think that indeed.
So we're going to finish.
It's not only what I like about Vilgeni's work. It's not only about taking the sound of the form of the outside objects, but it's also indeed
извлечение звука из объектов. Был слышен звук движущегося тела много. Екатерина.
Thank you for the exhibition. It was so strong and impressive.
Really great. And then a question to Marie. I think it's for you, Marie.
Вопрос для Марии. Из чего были сделаны фотографии? Я пропустил.
I don't know, Marie, if you want to respond to this question now.
Мне ответить на вопрос сейчас.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Меня слышно? Я не слышала, что вы говорите. Я слышу только русского переводчика. Я выключила перевод. Повторите, пожалуйста, вопрос. Вопрос касался ваших фотографий. Из чего они сделаны? Может быть, вы рассказать побольше о бумаге? Вопрос этого, из чего они сделаны? Потому что зритель, возможно, пропустил эту часть. Бумага сделана из растений. Я использую много разных растений. Это может быть и шкура лука. Зависит от того, какую серию я снимаю, от времени года.
Thank you.
И изображения — это аналоговые фотографии. И я отправляю эти фотографии при помощи растительных проявителей. Я не использую никаких химических веществ. Поэтому я печатаю на бумажной бумаге, которая также инкорпорирована в семена, свои изображения.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Marie. Just in case for the viewers, what I wanted to say, if you missed anything, we will be
Только зрители, если вы что-то пропустили, мы выложим всю информацию на нашем сайте. И также все объяснения, дополнительную информацию. Вы узнаете больше данных о работах. Был интересный вопрос от Олега, который только что мы получили. Я прочитаю на русском, потом на английском.
Добрый вечер. Спасибо за выставку.
Good evening. Thank you for your performance.
Или видеофиксация этих проектов?
Is it important for artists the photo and video fixation of this project?
И развивать их.
Are they going to work on these projects in further
Добрый вечер, благодарю за выставку.
How is it important for artists to do a photo or video documentation of these projects? And that's the question to the artist. Are you going to continue work on these projects and develop them in the future? I think we can give the floor to those who want to respond from the artists.
Думаю, мы дать слово тем художникам, которые хотят ответить на этот вопрос.
Okay, I think no one. But what I can say is that
I can
yep.
respond a bit if
Okay,
you want,
Marie.
please.
Yep.
So like this project that I'm presenting today is the project that I'm working on since a year and a half now. So it's something that was going on before the exhibition, and it's something that it will be on and be developed after the exhibition as well for mine.
Thanks, Marie. I think the fact that well, partly documentation was done for this project because of the format of our exhibition. We did ask, I think, all of the artists to document, because you could have seen there is some of the works are more land art, some of the works are pure performance, some of the works are like sound art, you can call it sound art sculpture, and I think Vilgeni will talk a bit more about it. But since we are experiencing these works in our Zoom environment, and it's in a way transient or temporal that these works are seen now, it was important for us as a curators to get those documented as well. That's what I can say from our side.
Я хотела бы добавить небольшой комментарий.
I would like to comment on a little bit. Can you hear me, guys?
И касательно моей работы,
As for my work,
первая часть была в 2018 году, это вот
the first part was in 2018, and another part was created late. It was important to document all this, because I left my installation in the area for some time.
То есть, если бы не было документации, То есть вот этой вот капсулы времени, которую я
If I
захватила,
did not make the documentation of this project, of this time capsule, if I did not let this project to live in the area, so it would not be like that.
то, что показывала, например, Кристина, когда я только установила работу,
You
река еще
can see what Christina was showing when I was just making the project. It was another sense. It was another perception. And documenting the work makes it possible to feel it, to sense it in another way. And while the water was going wider, it became another part of my job, of my work. It became another documentation, another stage.
Я вообще немножко разволновалась и не сказала всем огромное спасибо за доверие и самое главное.
I did not tell you all. Thank you for trust. The hidden guards and curators, you're making us so happy with your project. I hope that we will have more exhibitions like that.
From an audience that your installation is very inspirational. But also there is a question, I think, Dani, to you from Anastasia Istomina. She was asking if you could give us a bit more details of your work, maybe talk if there were any particular choice of that tree or just a little bit more. Thanks.
It is, so my backyard is pretty small and the only trees in the yard are these two trees. It's kind of like since the past year, I've spent most of my time at home. It made sense to make the work from my backyard. That is the nature space that I'm most often in. But I also in part chose it because prior to thinking about this performance, I had been making some cyanotypes, cyanotype photogram prints where I was taking the leaves and printing them on paper and then bleaching it so that the print would be a similar color to the leaves themselves. So I was already spending time in the backyard and trying to figure out what out of this mass of fallen leaves I could kind of both create, but how I could kind of reflect back what I was doing, spending all of that time. So that was why I chose, but kind of didn't choose to work in this space and with these leaves. And there were just so many. It feels overwhelming. Sometimes I rake them all up and I try to compost them. And because of the climate in this part of my country, the leaves grow on the tree and fall off several times a year. And so they keep piling higher and higher. And I kind of wanted to dig into that overwhelming feeling of all of those leaves piling up and kind of spend time with them instead of just looking at them as a nuisance or problem.
Yeah, just thanks a lot. It's actually, I just realized that we started our project in the same way in a pandemic from the garden, which was available. But I did enjoy your contemplative and part and that uselessness and futileness part. I think it's something to be practiced, and in this way, I think it works with Yana, this a little bit of meditative dimension of it. And I think there was another question, Evgeny, for you as well from the same viewer who also wanted to have more details about your work, and then you did respond that you want to talk more about it. Евгений, расскажите нам чуть побольше, да, о вашей работе.
В данном случае я использовал пространство природы, это Карельский перешейк, это север Ленинградской области. У нас здесь много камней. И камни, они звучат особо интересно, потому что у них есть твердая фактура, и этот звук легче всего считать. Но также считывается любая поверхность. Было интересно, когда было межсезонье, когда начал таять снег, и появилась первая трава. То есть я пробовал сделать такую прогулку И прикосновение к разному типу
the
почвы,
location, it
оно
was the
было очень
north of
интересно,
Leningrad
потому что снег
Oblast,
звучал
Karelский
совершенно
Печать.
иначе. Идея здесь даже не только в звуке, а в том внимании,
structure of
когда ты
location makes it
наступаешь на
possible
какой-либо
to hear the
предмет.
sound very
Потому
clearly.
что мы настолько привыкли ходить, ну,
It was very
просто находясь
interesting
в своем
when
теле, что
in
мы не
the
замечаем, куда
season,
мы наступаем.
when the snow
Если
started
одеть
to
такие
melt,
железные
the
ботинки,
grass
ну, это
appeared,
как шутка получается с этими ботинками,
and when I was
то
touching the ground, it was very
любое
because
касание
the
предмета,
snow
к примеру, это будет
sounded in a
соломинка,
little,
или это будет
in
камешек,
a totally
или это даже будет вода, они будут очень сильно
It's
отличаться.
not only
И вот
about the sound,
и
it's also
интенсивность
about
твоего
attention,
давления на этот предмет будет
because we
сопровождаться
used to
звуком.
walk
И
and
плотность
feel just
предмета тоже
only in our
сопровождается
body, and
своим
we don't
звуком.
notice where we
И
step.
эффект
And if
звучания я могу
we
тоже
put on
изменять, но
these
в данном
metal
случае
shoes,
был простой пример, потому что его можно было услышать
each
на
touch
расстоянии. Он
of
наиболее
any
громкий,
object
чтобы его можно было передать ну, с помощью
is very
телефона,
different. You
не
can
находясь
touch the
вблизи.
straws of water of the ground.
Вот. А так я хочу пробовать
And
развивать эту
each your
тему
touch will be
и
accompanied with the
придумываю
sound.
целые экспозиции, посвященные данному направлению,
And I can change the
которые
effect
можно
of the
исследовать
sound.
не только природу, но и городскую среду.
And it was
Или
a very
можно
simple
взаимодействовать
example
между
because you
собой. То
could
есть
hear
если
it
люди
and
одевают ну, вот такие носимые скульптуры, то происходит
it wasn't
такая
easy
очень
to
интересная
reveal it
контактная
through the phone
импровизация, потому
connection.
что каждое легкое прикосновение друг
I want
друга
to develop this
через вот
topic
такую оболочку, она заставляет работать
and to
ну, другой
develop
способ
different
нашего внимания.
exposition
И есть еще одна
devoted to this
разработка,
topic
продолжение этой же
specifically.
темы. Это такие целые пространства, которые работают по этому же принципу, но только
And
в это
people also can
пространство ты можешь
interact
войти. То
between
есть
each
это не
other,
ботинок,
and
а это
I would
лошадь.
like to work on these portable sculptures where we could
It
step
can be like
kind
kind
of
of
improvisation.
that is much bigger
Because
than a human.
every light
Двойной
touch of
пол,
each other
и первый слой
makes you
пола – это солома, а
to
второй
work your
слой – это
attention in a different
металлический
way.
лист. И от хождения по
If I have
этому
one
листу в этом
another
пространстве, все
worry,
пространство наполняется звуком. И если ты касаешься стенки этого пространства рукой или
and
ногтем,
I would like to
то
work out
тоже
a peculiar
сопровождается звук. Ну, в общем,
place where we could
я
step in. It's a kind of a big
пробую
shoe
развивать эту
that is
тему,
much
и
bigger than a
мне она
human.
кажется интересной.
And here I would like to
Вот
work
если
out
есть какой-то
a
вопрос, я могу
two-layered
с радостью на него
a
ответить.
two-layered ground.
Спасибо.
And all the
Спасибо,
space is
Евгений.
filled with the sound.
Вроде бы мы пока
If you touch it with the hand
новых не
of your
получали.
nail, the
Но у меня
sound
есть,
will be different.
наверное, один комментарий к другому
I
проекту.
try to develop
Я
this topic.
переключусь обратно на английский.
It seems very
I have
attractive and
another
appealing to me.
comment of a kind of personal
Какой-то
nature.
вопрос, я
Felix,
могу
Отличный
с радостью на него
комментарий к
ответить.
Феликсу.
If you have any questions, I can answer.
Your project really made me think
Thank
because
you,
it relates to.
Ваш проект заставил меня задуматься, потому что он
Но у меня
связан
есть
с вашим личным местом, с вашим домом.
But I have one
И
comment
я
to another
вспомнила о
project.
о своем
another
семейном доме.
comment of a kind of personal nature. Felix,
Да, езжу.
to you inside of me. So
Ваша работа породила очень много размышлений в моей голове.
Your project really made me think
Искусство
because it
достигло своей
relates to
цели.
very to a personal place, to your old house, and
Знаешь, что именно интересно?
it made me think about the family old house that I have
Что
somewhere far
изображение
apart, but
сада и
I do not
места
visit, and
уничтожено.
it called not called, but stimulated a lot of reflection inside of me. So in this sense, your art reached
Интересно,
it hits
что вы
the
хотите
point, I would
разрушить
say.
или
But it seems that
наоборот
like in the end, what is
сохранить это.
interesting is that your the image
Во-первых, я рад, что
of the
на
garden
вас
of the
подействовало.
place seems to be
Я могу
destroyed. And I wonder whether
это изображение
you've considered maybe not really going
я
towards
построил
destruction,
остров, потому что я
but
не уничтожал
really
ферму.
keeping it all
Я
together.
уничтожил
And
все
what was
вокруг
your
нее.
process to go to this point, to that direction?
Это нам будто всю карту затопило,
There
и
is
ферма теперь находится будто
I
бы
mean,
на
first of all, I'm glad
маленьком
it
острове,
reached you.
на холме.
I can share my screen again because my
И
desktop background
она
is actually
окружена
what happened to
огромным
the 2D
пространством
model
воды.
now. I built an island, so I did
Забавно,
not
что вы это
destroy
сказали,
the farm,
потому что
but I
это
destroyed everything around
следующая
it. But I
глава.
just flooded the entire
И вы собираетесь
Google Maps
продолжить
so
работу над
that
этим
only the
проектом.
farm is like it's
Oh,
now it's on a little island, and I started
Да,
to
будет очень
construct
интересно
this kind of
посмотреть.
utopia on top
Да,
of
я вам
this
отправлю.
hill that is surrounded by vast bodies of water. So yeah, it's funny that you say that because
again,
that's actually
Vilgeni, just
У нас вопрос для
that's the next
Вильгения
chapter
от
after that.
so you do going to continue working on that project. That's to come
о
back on
влиянии
one of the
костюма.
questions.
Yeah,
Yes, that would be very interesting, I think, to follow that and see
yeah, I'll send it to you.
the recreation of it. I think we have, let me see.
Говорю.
Again, Vilgeni, just a little question from
На
Anastasia
что он влияет?
about the impact of the
Короче,
suit.
он
Что влиял
усиливает
костюм, если можно
взаимодействие с
спросить?
пространством.
What did the
Ну,
costume
это не
influence
сам
on?
костюм,
If we
это
could
вот именно эти
ask.
предметы, которые можно надеть на себя. Говорю. То есть любой способ взаимодействия с пространством, влияет, короче, как повышенная чувствительность. Короче, он усиливает взаимодействие с пространством. Допустим, ручка, как в Lightroom. Если эту ручку немножко накрутить, то происходит вот такая гиперчувствительность. И если в таком костюме просто прогуляться, то внимание работает довольно интересно. Ты пространство считываешь совершенно иначе. Но есть другой нюанс, в нем не очень удобно гулять. Но, тем не менее, для небольшой прогулки это такое интересное путешествие. И если ты не знаешь, что тебя ждет, то это путешествие чувствительное. Можно запомнить надолго.
Swirl the pen, you will feel it better. You can read the space another way when you wear this costume. It's interesting to walk in the costume.
Евгений, хотите прокомментировать вопрос о выборе костюма?
You cannot walk for a long time, but with a short walk you can get a very interesting
Это просто
experience.
хорошая разновидность гидрокостюма для плавания в нашей реке. Ну, мне не хотелось покупать плохое. У этого костюма есть легенда. Ну, его узнали даже на этом видео. Да.
Евгений, хотите прокомментировать вопрос о выборе костюма?
Хороший костюм. Спасибо. Это просто хорошая разновидность гидрокостюма для плавания в нашей реке.
Спрашивала про отбор работ к выставке. Мы должны ответить, что, собственно, отбор работ к выставке проводился, как всегда, через open call, но при этом мы не ставили какой-то темы перед художниками определенной. То есть как бы условием было то, что художники взаимодействуют с каким-либо пространством, которое им близко, и, собственно, отбор работ вот это было, в общем-то, все условия open call. Может быть, Кристина или Ксюша что-то добавит?
Я могу добавить, что мы отбирали то, что ближе к душе, как всегда, и путем согласования между нами, как так, наверное, то, что нам нравится, где нравится всем.
И важно было все-таки, что это какое-то с природой связанное пространство, потому что мы про сад.
Maybe Christine would like to we were selecting what was very close to us.
У меня еще, наверное, тоже не то
And
чтобы
to
вопрос,
agree and
а
enjoy each
комментарий по
other what we
поводу
really
проекта
like.
Федора, который мне
Всё-таки, что
тоже
это
очень
какое-то с
импонировал.
природой
Вот как раз к
связанное
вопросу,
пространство.
It was
как мы
important that
выбирали
the space
проекты.
should be connected to nature.
Мне очень нравится вот land art в целом и
Да,
проект
контекст места.
Криста. И мне вот этот проект напомнил немножко.
У
Я не
меня
знаю,
еще,
Федор, у
наверное,
вас как
тоже
это
не
есть,
то чтобы
вы когда
вопрос,
создавали это,
а
думали об
комментарий по
этом?
поводу
Или
I have a
как-то
comment on
развиваете
the
эту тему, или
Fedor's
это что-то
project,
другое? Вот было бы мне интересно послушать.
which was very close to me.
Микрофон, Федор,
And it's the question, how did
не у
you
вас не
choose
включен.
the project?
По правде говоря, нет, я когда про христиана Криста не подумал в этом смысле, хотя, да, наверное, перекличка есть, он же тоже
Ksenija likes land art
упаковывал
so much.
острова, вот, и целые издания.
Вы когда создавали это,
Ну,
думали об этом?
для
Или
меня,
And this project
наверное, скорее
reminded me,
важен контекст этого места, где я нахожусь, вот, и, в принципе, я люблю
it
как бы работать
reminded
вот с
just
самим
a kind
местом
of
и
a land art.
с
It would
контекстом,
be interesting
который
to hear
появляется
about it.
вокруг этого места, вот, потому что он чаще всего не случайен, а связан каким-то образом
хотя,
с
да, наверное,
I didn't
жизнью
think
в
about
этом
it. It
месте.
didn't remind me
Вот,
that.
и поэтому часто как бы я использую разные материалы, разные
для
способы
меня,
взаимодействия с этим пространством.
наверное,
Me,
скорее
Это
важен
могут быть
it's more
проекции,
a
видео,
context of the
вот, и
place.
это могут быть и какие-то другие материалы, вот,
I
просто
like
даже
working
перформативные
with the
практики.
place itself.
Классно. Спасибо большое.
And it's not just accidental. It is
Давайте
connected to the
последний
life of
вопрос.
this place.
Да. Здесь
Very often I use
спрашивают, а сколько всего было заявок? Всего
various
было
ways of
заявок около
interaction with
60.
the place, with the location.
В итоге осталось, мы выбрали 7 человек.
There can be just different materials, but
Много
the
было.
fact of interaction is
Ну,
very
так.
important.
Ну, главное не количество.
Thanks a lot.
Выбираем все-таки по другим критериям. Давайте последний вопрос.
And the last question.
Будем заканчивать?
Да, будем заканчивать. Сколько всего было заявок? Всего
How
было...
Maybe then we
how
can
many
all
calls
put
did
our
you get?
cameras on.
Мы можем
There
включим
were
все свои
about
камеры.
60,
Да,
60
может быть, участники
appeals, so
хотят
we
что-то сказать,
selected.
или уже все было сказано.
And the quantity is not
Если все
so
сказано, то мы
important.
закончим.
Quality is more important.
Да, давайте заканчивать.
So we are going to finish.
Всем спасибо. Всем участникам.
All put
У
our
нас было удовольствие вас
cameras on.
видеть. День рождения
Just to
нас.
say, I don't know if there are any comments, maybe comments from participants to each other, or if all said, we will wrap it up. We will switch off the
Okay,
streaming,
then let's
Мы
let's
отключим
close the
трансляцию,
session.
и также закончится
Thanks to
вебинар.
everyone who came,
Подожди,
who
Ксюша,
viewed.
ты
It
бежишь.
was pleasure.
Впереди паровозик.
Happy birthday to us.
I'm just explaining what's going on.
Еще пару слов сказать. У
And
нас
I think
описание
we will
работы и информацию о
switch off
художниках можно найти на сайте
this
после открытия выставки. И мы благодарим
We will
всё-таки
switch off
всех
the
художников за
streaming,
вовлеченность,
and
время,
it will
энтузиазм и
also
готовность
finish
участвовать в
this
таком
webinar, right?
непривычном онлайн-формате. И спасибо
Okay.
зрителям за вопросы и
No?
активность, и
Ага.
за то, что
Okay.
провели с нами этот день
I'm just
рождения.
explaining what's
Это
going on.
здорово и приятно. Еще пару
And
слов сказать. Очень
I
важно,
need to say
что
several
большое
words.
спасибо Анне и Ксении, это нашим переводчикам,
The description of
за
the
их
works
труд,
and the information
которые нам
about
позволили
artists you can
сегодня
find on the
фактически
website.
стать интернациональными, еще более интернациональными, чем
Thanks
мы
to
были
all
в прошлый раз.
artists for your time, for sharing your
Все,
work,
спасибо.
and for working in this new format. So that was for a great celebration, a great birthday. Thanks a lot to Anna and Ksenia for the translation. So we became a little bit more international with these translations. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Спасибо.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.